Hey guys, what's up? This is xVFRoSTeDVx here, bringing you an X and Y Wi-Fi battle. This was a battle I had against Jack Baker 1173 on my live stream yesterday, and this turned out to be a very close match. Getting straight to the team preview, he's got a Conch Elder, Talonflame, Rotom, a Azumarill, Tyranitar, and a Therathorn compared to my Conch Elder, Choice Scarf, Hydreigon, Bulky Mega Scizor, Weakness Policy, Angie-Slash, Lumberry, Gyarados, and Standard Landorus with leftovers. Expected leads, I expected him to either lead off with the T-Tar or the Therathorn just to get up his rocks, or I expected the Conch Elder switch in too because it actually can deal with most of my team rather well. Threats, definitely the Azumarill, if that turns out to be a belly drumming set or a choice bandit set. Those two are just as threatening. And the Talonflame is always a threat, as Landorus is the only one on my team that can really check it reliably. But if it's a choice bandit set, I can kind of play around it. Tyranitar can also be a mega, Dragon Dance 3 attacking set if it's not the Stealth Rocker, which can also pose a big threat as well. Saying that, let's get straight to the match. So I decided to lead off with the Conch Elder, expecting either the T-Tar or the Therathorn leads. What I should have done is either lead off with my Landorus to get my Stealth Rocks up, because as you see, it kind of plays a role later on in the match. So I decided to go straight for the Drain Punch. Well, don't want to mess around, don't want to get this guy to have Stealth Rocks, as I expected to do way more damage than that. I'm only able to get 60% off on this Therathorn, which is kind of unfortunate because he also has the Rock Helmet too, which is kind of annoying, as he gets his Stealth Rocks up, and because I don't have a Defogger, those rocks are here to stay. So already misplaying. I should have just went into my Landorus and set up my own Stealth Rocks, but I didn't. As he goes into the Talonflame, I kind of expected to switch into Talonflame, but I didn't go for the knockoff. I've been playing consecutive matches like throughout the day, so like this was like 3.5 hours into my stream, so I was misplaying everywhere on this match. I decided to switch out and go into my Landorus, as Landorus is really the only check to Talonflame that I have, and as I thought it would be somewhat of a check, turns out it's not, because he ends up going for the Flare Blitz, which is just fine, but not only does he get a critical hit, he takes me out. I'm like, what? So this kind of threw me into a loop. I'm like, okay, this thing's definitely got to be choice banded. So I'm forced to go into Gyarados just to intimidate it again, just so I can lighten its blows a little bit, because it's now a -2, and I knew it's going to switch out, because why would you stay in on a Gyarados and risk going for a -2 Brave Bird to kill my Gyarados? As he goes and pulls a switch into the Therathorn, I expected this switch, and I decided to go and pull a double out into my Conch Elder, just so I can go and get a free Drain Punch off of whatever I switched into. I kind of expected the Therathorn switch in, if not the Rotom switch in, which Conch Elder can reliably check both of those threats. As I go for the Drain Punch, as from the reasonable damage from before, I'm able to take out the Therathorn, which is very nice, because Therathorn can be annoying with, the Leech Seed, Protect, and Thunder Wave, and all that. So, yeah, that's one nuisance gone. I believe he pulls the switch right back out into the Talonflame just to scare off my Conch Elder, which is a very good play on my opponent's part, as I'm forced to switch out. Really wishing he didn't take out my Landorus turn 3, because I could get my Stealth Rocks up, but you'll see later that this Talonflame just becomes a royal pain in the ass with this entire battle. As I predicted him to go for the Brave Bird, because he went for the Flare Blitz the turn 3 to take out my Landorus, expecting my Angie-Slash switch in from the first time. So this time I decided to go and pull a switch into the Angie-Slash, thinking he'd go for the Brave Bird because I didn't go into the Angie-Slash the first time. As he goes and pulls the switch out into the Conch Elder, I decided to go for the King Shield just to see what he would go for. I'm pretty sure he was going to switch out just to confirm that he was choice banded or not. As I go and pull a second King Shield just to see what this Conch Elder would do as he goes for a knockoff, and lucky for me I get a -2 attack strength on him, which was nice and awesome. But this would kind of threw me in a loop too, because I did not expect my Angie-Slash to outrun this Conch Elder, and because of that, even though I got a nice critical there, he gets a knockoff off, and even though he's -2, I am on offensive form, I'm weak to it, and it's doubled because of the item. So I lost my Angie-Slash for absolutely no reason. I should have expected this Conch Elder to be slower than me, because I'm a 6 IV Angie-Slash. I know, I'm a 6 IV Angie-Slash. I gotta get a 0 IV and speed. I really wish I had that. As I decided to pull a switch into my Scizor because I can reliably switch into it, Mega Evolve and Swords Dance up because he is a -2 Conkeldurr. As my opponent decides to go for the Drain Punch here because he kind of forgot that he was a -2 at the time. And Scizor completely eats this up. That did like literally nothing. And I was expecting him to go into the Talon or the Rotom here, but for some reason I just pressed the Bullet Punch and I was like, I should have just went for the U-turn. I could have done serious damage to this Rotom, which, you know, Rotom would have been less of a nuisance. But now I'm forced to switch out because I don't want my Scizor to be burned, because Scizor is my winning condition at this point, as long as I can try to take out that Talonflame. As I go ahead and pull the switch into Conkeldurr, expecting the Will-O-Wisp, it is actually what he goes for, so I get a nice, delicious Guts boost, which is perfect. So now I can get a Drain Punch off on anything that decides to come in on this Conkeldurr. I forget what my opponent does here. I think he goes for the Volt Switch here, and I think he goes and pulls a switch into his own Conkeldurr, thinking he could take a Drain Punch because he didn't think I was Guts. Because I don't know why people think that because you want to trigger its Guts boost ability that every Conkeldurr would run Flame Orb, but mine's Assault Vest. I don't need to rely on a Flame Orb doing constant residual damage to me. I'd rather have my opponent Will-O-Wisp something to, like a Status Absorber. Anyways, so I'm able to take out the Conkeldurr, which is also nice. Well, it wasn't that big of a threat because I had a bunch of checks to it. As he goes ahead and pulls a switch to the Talonflame, which honestly is starting to kind of trying to annoy me at this point, because I really wish he didn't crit hit my Landorus there, because I'd love to get those Stealth Rocks up at this point in time. So I decided to go back into the Gyarados, because Gyarados is really the only reliable check that I have to this Talonflame at this point, as it does go for the Will-O-Wisp, which kind of threw me off, because I'm like thinking, oh, is this thing choice banded or not? He goes for the Will-O-Wisp and misses, but it didn't matter because I do have a Lumberry on my Gyarados, and I expected to switch, but I didn't know what into. I should have expected the Rotom here, but I decided to go for the safe Waterfall just to play it safe in case he did decide to stay in and go for the Brave Bird if he was not choice banded. And this whole time I'm thinking that it is choice banded, but after using Will-O-Wisp, it kind of makes me have second guesses because, you know, some Talonflames run U-turn on. As I decide to pull into Hydreigon, because the last time I pulled a switch into the Conkeldurr expecting the Will-O-Wisp, but this time I expected him to go for the Full Switch or the Hydro Pump because, you know, I don't want any Conkeldurr doing any more damage than it has now. As he goes and pulls a switch into that Tyranitar to take whatever move I'm going to go for, I'm pretty sure Tyranitar can take a Draco Meteor, especially because of the Sandstorm boosts. In case you guys don't know, Rock-type Pokemon get a 50% boost in special defense while stands up. So I decided to switch out, not wanting to risk my Hydreigon off an attack that possibly might not even kill. So I decided to go into my Gyarados just to get the Intimidate off on the Tyranitar, the fodder off my Gyarados, so I can get a free switch into my Conkeldurr, because Conkeldurr can reliably check this thing and OHKO it straight off the bat if it decides to stay in. So I pull out the Conkeldurr, and I know I'm slower than it, and I should go for the Mach Punch here, but I expected him to switch out here, so this is why I go for the Drain Punch. And he does go for the switch out. I'm thinking he'd go into his Rotom. I completely forgot that he had an Azumarill, and I end up going for the Drain Punch here, which does respectable damage, but that is an Azumarill, and that, you know, that will destroy my Conkeldurr, and I still need my Conkeldurr possibly to take on his T-Tar later on. So I'm forced to switch out, and I'm just hoping it doesn't go for the Belly Drum. But at the same time, even if it did, I do have my Scizor to go and check it. And this is exactly what I go into, because I was either thinking he'd go for the Play Rough to try to take out my Conkeldurr. I didn't know what he was going to go for, so I decided to go for the Scizor, safest play I could have went for, as he does indeed go for the Belly Drum here. And I'm like thinking to myself, okay, if I don't take out this Azumarill right here, right now, I'm swept. Because, you know, +4 Azumarill, Aqua Jet can. My team at its state right now, he could OHKO pretty much everything on my team. I mean, Hydreigon, it's bulky, but not bulky enough to take a +4 Waterfall from Azumarill. It's huge power. Anyways, I was able to take out the Azumarill with the Bullet Punch. So I just saved myself from getting swept as he goes back into the Rotom. And once again, I do not want to get burned with my Scizor because, like I said before, my Scizor is my winning condition at this point. As he does go for the Hydro Pump on the Hydreigon, I take that rather nicely, but you know, my Hydreigon now is at a very low amount of HP where Talonflame can come in at any point in time and just Brave Bird and it straight up dies. So, leaving myself with no other choice, I decided to go for the Draco Meteor, and I'm able to kill off the Rotom. And the only reason he stayed in is because he's got nothing to take a Draco Meteor. I mean, Tyranitar can come in on a Draco Meteor, but why risk taking all that damage just to KO me, and then I could get a free switch into my Scizor and then just go for the free U-turn on anything he wanted. So foddering off the Rotom was the best play he could go for, as I decided to stay in and try to fodder off the Hydreigon because I expected him to go for the Brave Bird to take me out, but he didn't. And I kind of expected him to go for the Roost, so I decided, yeah, stay in and go for the Draco Meteor, which doesn't even kill, and I'm like, no, because that was my only chance of taking out Talonflame at this point. So Talonflame's just going to go ahead and Roost again, and I'm going to go ahead and Draco Meteor again, because I do not want this thing at a reasonable amount of HP. And again, I'm still thinking this thing is Choice Bandit, so if it's Choice Bandit, it's locked into Roost. And it's going to keep on roosting, and I'm going to keep on Draco Meteoring until it switches out. But this turn, I expected it to switch out, and I decided to go and pull a switch into my Scizor, expecting his Tyranitar to come in, because he doesn't want to be locked into Roost anymore. And he knows I'm just going to keep doing this until I fodder off my Hydreigon. But I do get the prediction right. I do get the incoming T-Tar to come in, which is nice. And I expected him to switch right back out into the Talonflame, so I decided to go for the Roost here, because I know Scizor can take reliably a Brave Bird, because, you know, it's really, really bulky. I'm pretty sure I can take one Brave Bird from this thing, as he does go for the Crunch here, and, you know, just to annoy me a little bit, he does get the critical hit, which does not really end up mattering. It just forces me to go for the Roost again, just so I can get a reasonable amount of HP, because I want a reasonable amount of HP just in case it came down to it. I want to be able to take on at least one Talonflame's Brave Birds, because if I could survive one Brave Bird, it'll probably end up dying to the recoil to my Bullet Punch. So I'm going to go ahead and get to U-turn, get some nice damage on the T-Tar, looking at about 60-65%, as I'm going to switch out and go into my Conkeldurr. Hindsight, I should have just foddered off the Hydreigon. Hydreigon was no longer, you know, useful at this point, as he goes for the Crunch, and because Conkeldurr is very, very weak, I lose my Conkeldurr. I should have just foddered off my my Hydreigon there, switched into my Conkeldurr, and just went for the Mach Punch. Didn't matter what it hit, I'm pretty sure it would have done a lot of damage to Talonflame, and they would have put me in a way better position. And here we go again. I'm going to go ahead and Roost up with my Mega Scizor, because again, I want to maintain a high amount of HP just so I could take on Talonflame's Brave Bird, because Scizor, again, is my winning condition, and I feel like that Scizor can take a Brave Bird, but after seeing that defense drop, I thought I lost right here. So I'm forced to go for the Bullet Punch again, and I'm gonna hit the T-Tar and take it out. Very nice. Now it really all came down to this: can I take a Brave Bird from Talonflame? Which I don't think I can. I was really thinking about switching into Hydreigon. I'm like, what's the point? I lost. But no, he doesn't go for the Brave Bird. He totally forgets about the fact that he can out-prioritize me with the Gale Wings and go for the Brave Bird. Especially after that defense drop, he would have killed me. But he went for the Flare Blitz, and because I got that extra damage off on the Talonflame, he kills himself to the recoil, which was absolutely amazing because that was his last Pokemon. My last Pokemon was my Hydreigon that was sitting in the background with only 41 HP. Very close game. Flare Blitz, there was a 1-0 victory in my favor. You guys want to battle me, just go ahead and leave a comment on my YouTube channel, or I'll leave some links in the description. Go follow me on Twitch, click a like on my Facebook page, follow me on Twitter. You know, I'll add my Skype name if you guys want to go ahead and battle me off stream and whatnot. Until then, guys, xVFRoSTeDVx signing out. Later.